Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading. Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. This is general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, not you, then what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Okay, I did a little meditation before this, and this is the card that came out from for the underlying energy for this reading. So this is talking about, heartache on the Three of Swords. I mean, clearly, like, this is a challenging position to be in. There's three swords in someone's heart, and this energy can, it's talking about heartache, heartbreak. Sometimes in romantic love, this could represent a third-party energy dividing a couple. It could represent harsh words being spoken, gossip, slander, someone who's afraid to speak their truth. Their heart is in their throat. This can represent a need to heal, for forgiveness, and also for possibly for, to heal. Forgiveness is actually for yourself. When you forgive someone, it's not saying, I feel like, what you did was okay, I condone your activities. It's not about wanting to be around them anymore or have anything to do with them. You don't even have to tell someone you forgive them. The forgiveness is so that you can heal your heart and make room in it for, to move forward with love in your heart, And this energy, when you first look at it, you think, how is someone supposed to survive and then heal from a heart that has three swords in it? But when you look again, you notice the heart is really big. So sometimes this can talk about, these being more like stakes in the heart. Maybe you were hanging out with a vampire, a blood-sucking, energy-sucking vampire. It could be possible. But this is saying harsh words were spoken. There might be a potentially heartbreaking decision that needs to be made. Fear of speaking your truth. This sometimes represents perjury. So there's quite a bit of healing to be done there. And then we have temperance. And temperance is talking about devotion to your designated path. Now, this is from my oracle, Tales from the Vector. And this is one of the vertical cards. The vertical cards in my oracle represent strong energy, and it's talking about having devotion to be on your destined path, and also having control over your emotions, so that you don't move forward and then regret it later. Like, instead of responding to the energy, if you react, quite often you'll have regret after that. So temperance is your character and being able to stay calm. And stay on your destined path, have the patience to be able to be devoted to your path. And that's what this painting is about. This is temperance. And we have the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords, again, now the swords do represent the element of air. So the swords themselves are basically your thoughts. So the swords represent mental intelligence, discipline of the mind, your thoughts, whether those are expressed through words that are verbal or if they're expressed through the written word. And this is talking about, in this situation, quite often this could be an inner child healing that needs to happen. This adult and child are on this boat, and there's no baggage whatsoever. The conveyor is having to really dig deep with this long pole to dig into the mud to push off, to move out of this rough water. Rough water in tarot represents volatile emotions, chaotic energy. And so something may have happened here, definitely. Well, something has happened, definitely. And this is talking about, it brought up maybe issues from when you were a child, that you had forgotten something and it triggered a memory or whatever, and you feel like you need healing of that inner child. This is about going off to meditate and pray and get in touch with the Most High and heal this, whatever this is from your childhood, and move into peaceful, calmer waters. And then we have the star energy. The star energy is then after this happens, you're ready to move forward again. This is about the galactic energy. This is the North Star. And so the North Star is representing, your destined path. So when it's your North Node in the zodiac. So this energy is talking about following your destined path and adding your own beautiful qualities from the heavens, from the celestial heavens, into the universal pool, and then pouring that out onto the earth here. And you notice there's 5 streams here, and those 5 streams represent the 5 points on the star of the pentagon for the earth energy of earth. We don't really have a pentagon out here, or a pentacle out here as of yet. This is talking about the Pleiades, and it's talking also, sometimes this can be talking about being innocent and also being, and so that's what this painting is about also. We have a baby dragon with an angel, and this energy is talking about, babies don't come out hating anyone. Babies come out pure, and when the energy, is pure like this, there's just love. That's all there is. No matter how different we are, if we're not taught to hate, we don't. If we're taught to love, we do. It's that sort of energy. Giving, like not bunching everybody all in the same, that certain race or that certain animal, they're evil, that type of person, they're evil. Get to know someone before you make a judgment like that, basically. And then this is talking about bringing your own unique qualities down to earth. And, recently the scientists did discover that stars are made up of a large percentage of water, and so are human beings. So you're closer to stardust than you realize. And so you're sprinkling your own beautiful galactic energy onto the earth to make it a better place. And then we have the Empress energy. So the Empress is representing the qualities of all 4 queens from the minor arcana. She reaches this status, and she's in the major arcana. The Empress becomes the status of Empress because she's gone through a lot, and quite often in a challenging way, and yet she's managed to keep this temperance, heal her heart, stay on her destined path, and be a powerful manifester. And so she is actually considered to be pregnant with possibility. And the way she manifests, it's with ease, but because she's in the flow. But she puts the work into it. What she does is that's what the wheat here represents, is her ability to grow bumper crops. I don't know, I cannot talk tonight, I'm sorry. My mouth is stuck for some reason. I'll do better. All right. Okay, breathe and talk. It's not that hard. So this is talking about her deciding, okay, I'm going to grow a crop, and she's known for growing bumper crops. I'm going to grow a cereal crop. Is that going to be wheat or durum? Durum. Okay. Then she decides, okay, which field is the best one to grow durum in? She may be rotating crops, that sort of thing. And when she picks the field, then she makes sure that she has the soil tested. She wants to see if it needs any amending, any fertilizing. Then she's going to pick any rocks, stones, anything that could damage the expensive seeding and harvesting equipment. And then she waits until the exact opportune moment, as close to it as possible, to plant the seeds. And after that, she waves her wand and says, okay, universe, okay, nature, do your thing. And, she has already decided She's an organic farmer, so she doesn't spray. And she's already decided that that's the energy that she's going to put into this project. That's her time, money, and energy. And after that, now she's going to let nature do its thing, and she's going to start her next project. So she's always in the flow. And she'll come back to this energy at harvest, and she might throw in a rain dance or two here and there, but other than that, she waves her wand and has confidence that nature always pulls through for her, and that she'll have another bumper crop. And then we have the energy of the 10 of cups, and the cups in tarot do represent love, and quite often it's romantic love, but in this case we don't want to have 10 romantic partners at once unless we're really, really, really passionate. So this is talking about love of all things, and this is actually talking about ultimate fulfillment in love after hardship. So after coming out of the heartache, if you take the time and the energy and pour that into yourself, love yourself, invest in yourself by taking the time to heal. The rainbow is representing a promise of, an ultimate fulfillment from doing that. And it's talking, having the perfect companion that you enjoy. You love and they love you, and the beautiful, healthy children, and they love you and you love them. The beautiful home and the beautiful area you love to be in. You love your career, your neighbors, your peers, your clients. Everything's smooth. And so this is talking about ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. And quite often this is a promise of that coming in if you do the work to heal and move forward. Then we have a transition coming in. So I do feel that this is talking about whatever happened, you're coming to the tail end of it. You've done some work on this for sure. You've chosen love over hate or anger or the other emotions that you may have been feeling. You have recognized that there might be some issues from when you were a child that you need to work through, because those quite often are in our subconscious mind, and they're heavily imprinted on us when we're babies. So they pop up at the weirdest times. And the energy here is the death card. A lot of times people get really worried when they see this, but the death card is, the Grim Reaper is actually common in a lot of cultures, representing the transition from death to birth and death. This is actually talking about an end of a cycle, which is what this energy, is talking about, the promise of a new day, a new morning, and a rebirth, and after this hardship. And this is saying, like, the Grim Reaper's coming through town. Now, this older person, that makes him nervous, and he's bartering, we don't want you to come through town. Can we give you this? Can we give you that? And the Grim Reaper's, no, I'll come through town if I want to. And change is happening whether you like it or not. And so the old person, that's one thing that we all are told. Though there's two things we can rely on, is death and taxes. But we can also rely on change, because change is happening every second of every minute of every day. It's just that we don't notice it unless it's kind of in our face, and it's something that changes our lifestyle or changes our health or whatever it is. And so this is talking about these two young ones are like approaching the Grim Reaper, and they're excited. Hey, there's someone new in town. And the one is even offering a flower, and this is representing the bloom of life. Underfoot, we have a king that's been trampled. Now, this isn't representing an actual king. This is talking about the energy of systems breaking down, things, systems like governments, just different ways things are run. Those things breaking down, and they're things that are like really like you just never thought would break down. Like it'll always be like this. Sometimes it could be something just as simple as having a hobby or something that you've always loved to do. And one morning you wake up and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like doing that anymore. And you're shocked, and so is everybody else around you. And they're like, now what are we going to get you for Christmas? It's just something you've always loved. And you wake up one day and say, you know what? I'd rather do something else with my time. And that's okay. We have the Hierophant coming in. The Hierophant is talking about justice coming in from the spiritual realm down to the physical. This is talking about religious figures, possibly like if you're a religious person, it could be a pope, cardinal, bishop, guru, rabbi, whatever the top of your church is, the people that make the rules in your church, the rituals of your church, of your religion, and connecting through source energy in that way. And then that coming down to the earth, and justice coming through the religious way. And if you're more of a spiritual person, it can be talking about being in an energy of meditation and prayer, and just like without an intermediary, you like to connect with source energy through that in that way. And so it's talking about it coming spiritually that way. And also, this is also talking about the energy of justice on the planet. So the systems that are out there that are responsible for justice and making the laws of the land around the world. And so this is talking about the Hierophant. When the Hierophant shows up, it's saying that there's some sort of justice for something that happened. Clearly something happened here. And that it's going to be a blessing for you. If you're on the right side of the law, it'll be a blessing. And if you're on the wrong side of the law, it will be, you're caught, basically. You're going to need to rectify the situation. And then we have the Page of Swords energy. And the Page is talking about communication, information coming in. Sometimes the Page can be an indication of age, because they would work for the king and queen. They would start around the age of 7 to 14, depending on how mature they were. You have to remember, in the old days, the life expectancy was about half of what it is now. So they would start working very early out of necessity. And this would be a real coup for them to be a page and be working for the king and queen. That would be a better job than most people had, for sure. You'd be getting that education, getting dressed in finery, and, just learning how the rich work, how the elites run things. And so this is talking about a breath of fresh air. It's talking about, it could be an aha moment that just comes to you. You might have been meditating and praying, and all of a sudden in the wee hours, it usually happens where, boom, you get some insight, or from your dreams you get some insight. Your ancestors are trying to connect with you through your dreams. So sometimes, if we pay attention, we can get some good information. And this is, so we have some sort of communication information coming through. Now, it is about the sword energy. So again, he's the only one who's not looking at the element that he represents. He's actually looking away from it, because he already knows what the logical question is. He wants to get a creative solution. So he's looking away from the logic now, and he's thinking outside the box and using his intuition to go through the logical choices and feel which one is the best one for him. Not every solution works the same for different people. And so this is talking about, he understands that the sword is double-edged, logic and intuition, and he uses both to be able to move forward. So there's some sort of information coming in, and it doesn't have to be in person. This definitely could be something, as I said, coming from within you, like a thought that comes to you, like you're like, wow, I've been thinking about this for weeks. Boom, it just, when you're doing dishes, all of a sudden it pops into your head. This is what you need to do. Or you see something, maybe if you're watching a video or something on social media or on the news, you see something happening in the world and it triggers something, and then you go, oh, that's how I can do it. It's that sort of energy. It could be a phone call, a text message, something that comes in the mail, documents. It could be talking about an email, possibly, you're on social media, someone messages you, you go to an event, and then you run into someone in person. Sometimes this energy can also be talking about private eyes, detectives, using technology for legal and illegal surveillance, so hidden cameras, microphones, etc., that type of energy. And then if there's some sort of investigation, sometimes it can talk about a private detective. And then we have lovers coming in. So this is a gift from the divine. The sun is there showing that this is ordained by God. This relationship is, something that is anointed by God. And it's talking about these two lovers. There's a cloud in between them. And that can represent the fact that you may or may not know this person. If you do know them, or know of them, they're not someone that you've already had an intimate relationship with. This would be this wouldn't be someone that you split up from. It wouldn't be like someone returning after having a relationship that didn't turn out. And we have judgment being called. So this is God's judgment coming in. We do have a lot of judgment in this reading. That's been a major theme in the readings today a lot. So the judgment is coming from the spiritual realm and from the Most High. And then it would be the Hierophant's job to make sure that it is carried out on earth. And the ancestors are literally, the trumpet is blowing, the ancestors are thrilled. They're climbing out of their boxes. Sometimes this can talk about skeletons rolling out of the closet, hidden secrets coming out about the family. Sometimes this can talk about like Pandora's box being opened. That would be more of a global effect. And so we're seeing a lot of that on the planet right now. So this energy is very much talking about the energy of Gemini or Uranus in the energy of Gemini. And, Uranus moved into Gemini about a month and a little bit ago. And the last time Uranus has been in Gemini was 1941 to 1949. And it's going to be with us for the next 7.5 to 8 years. So we're talking like 2033. And a lot of truths coming out. And the thing is about the main thing with Uranus and Gemini is the truth coming out. And it's kind of coming out in weird ways, and it can be weird truths in weird ways, like the weirdest things in the news that you're like, what the heck? But it brings up some serious issues. Like it can be something like as small as a little piece of plastic that the children generally play with, like Lego, and cause like, whoa, usually when you see, I've noticed more and more because I'm on YouTube more now that I have a channel, but you'll notice that, usually after about 48 hours, there's something new coming in. I can't remember ever seeing news go on and on about the same thing for like 2 weeks like it had. It's easing off now. Well, there's court orders to stop people from talking about it. But it's just like, okay, the Lego is bringing the truth out. Okay, whatever. It's a children's toy, of course. It's just like, okay, whatever. So this is talking about, marriage, actually, commitments and partnerships. I just want to just explain. I'm building a pyramid here. So this bottom row is talking about what are we dealing with here? So definitely some sort of heartache and having the devotion to stay on your path, healing, going off, doing a lot of meditation and prayer to be able to heal, and possibly from some childhood wounds, bringing your own unique qualities and getting on your destined path. And this is propelled you into Empress status because you are, you've gone through what you've gone through, and you've managed to have temperance. You've been patient. You've stayed on your path. You've done all the, the meditating, the prayer, the inner work that you need to do to heal your heart. And there's a promise of ultimate fulfillment from doing so in matters of love, and just having a lovely life. And this transition is coming about. So if you've been here for a while in this energy, I feel that the Hierophant is coming in. If there's some sort of justice that needs to happen, this is saying that shift is happening. Some information comes in. And also it looks like there's a lover coming in, And maybe maybe you meet someone that helps get you justice, and at the same time they end up being your lover. That could happen. There's judgment. God has made judgment, and so the Hierophant is getting ready to make sure that the justice happens. And then we have on this energy here, this judgment is also saying, this energy is saying that it's time for you to have love in your life again. After healing from this, you've done the work, and that's part of the judgment as well. So this is talking about, it's kind of the energy, the best way to explain this card is, it's the beginning of fulfillment, same as this card, but this is talking more like about passion, you know, and so about forward movement. It can be in business, it can be in what you do, and it can also be, like, this could represent, a lot of people consider this to be the official marriage card in tarot. So quite often it is about romantic love and marriage, making a commitment of having a family together and that sort of thing. But it also can talk about something you love to do or be, and that you have passion for, and meeting someone that also has that passion. And it could be talking about business partnerships and commitments of all sorts, really. So basically what it's saying is that you have the money for your castle, for the down payment, but you still have to make the mortgage payments. Someone popped the question, you said yes, they said yes, and now you're planning the wedding, and then after that you're going to need to pour your energy into the relationship so that it remains this fulfilling promise of love that you were promised here. It just doesn't magically happen. You have to put your own energy into it. And we have the Hermit. So yeah, this is happening. Again, it's really interesting. The readings are really talking about this. This is the North Star energy. When the Hermit wants to isolate, he'll climb the mountain, and it's usually after a dark night of the soul. And I feel like this is sitting on the Empress, and it's talking, this energy is coming in because you took time off, took time away from life, kind of, didn't get into another relationship right away if it was about love or romance or whatever. You took the time to look into yourself, to have the courage to do some inner work, look at your shadow side, see, okay, what could I have done differently? What was the cause of this? And then realized, oh, there's something from my childhood that I have not totally healed from. I thought I had, but I hadn't, and start doing that work. This is talking about the Hermit energy is climbing the mountain, and then when the lantern is full of the light of the North Star, that's when the Hermit knows his rod becomes golden, and it's okay, I can take action now. I know what to do. And look at this, we have the Temperance card coming out again. So this is really being emphasized in my readings. In the Bible, it talks about the different types of character that people could have. And it says an angry temperament is the worst type of energy for being able to live a good life, to have strong character. You have to be able to take control of your emotions. Otherwise, you're reacting to energy and what's happening around you, and you don't have the patience to wait for God's timing. Things are not going to work out very well. God's timing is different from our timing. Things don't always happen when we want it to. And when God can see the big picture, it makes sense to have faith in that energy, especially if you're not quite sure what to do, to meditate and pray and get in touch with that Most High and the energy of the universe. And we have a Mercury in retrograde coming up here on the 29th, and it's on the same day as the full moon in Cancer. And so I feel like I'm going to be doing a bonus reading for that. I'm going to start doing them, if not tomorrow, the day after, because we will feel that energy for about 3 days before. But it's going to be Mercury retrograde / full moon reading for each sign, because it just so happens that Mercury is going in retrograde on the same day of the full moon. So it's going to be a little more emotional than usual, I think. Just when Mercury goes retrograde, quite often communication can get kind of skewed a bit, and sometimes people will misunderstand what they're, what people mean when they say what they say. And next thing you know, it's way more it's more challenging to be temperate. And so the Queen of Cups is coming out here. So this is interesting because the Queen of Cups is talking about the marriage energy. She is definitely someone who's marriage material. She is most likely out of all the queens to be in a traditional marriage. And this sometimes when a card like this comes out, it can be talking about the journey of the Empress. I don't get that. I feel like this energy is representing the maternal bloodline, like your maternal bloodline. That's been coming up. It's been coming up in my readings so much lately. All of a sudden, the Queen of Cups has been in all the readings for the astrological insights, and I haven't. So there's something about this energy. It's talking about the maternal bloodline. And I keep picking up, it's about DNA. And the thing is about the maternal bloodline is the mitochondria of your cells. They're kind of like the energy cell of our cells. That mitochondria comes directly from the maternal energy, and so from your mother. And that energy is passed on to both the son and the daughter, but only the daughter carries it to her. It's given from mother to daughter, not from mother to son. So the son is affected by, it affects their energy, their DNA, but they don't pass it on to future generations. Whereas the daughters, it affects their DNA, and they also pass it on to their daughters, and then their daughters pass it on. So sometimes they can take the mitochondria of a cell, and get the DNA from that. They can find out. They can go way back down the maternal line, knowing that energy is directly passed down from mother to daughter. And it keeps coming up in the reading. So there's something about that, about the maternal bloodline. This could be something that's happening. We're going to hear about, in the news or something in a bigger way, as well as in individualized. Because generally when I have something like this come up, I'll see it, and it'll come up like someone famous going through some DNA testing or something like that. And so this, it doesn't have to be, but I have a feeling it could show up in that way as well as in your individual readings. And so the Queen of Cups, she has that cup on her lap there. It's like a trophy. She has a lid on it. It's talking about her being a container of unconditional love. And, unconditional love is something it's quite rare. So when you have someone who loves you unconditionally, it is a special gift. And I feel that's what this is talking about. That this new energy you're in is about unconditional love. And we have, look at this, we have the Hangman as well. So the Hangman and Temperance are coming out twice. I just did a reading about, I was just talking, where was I talking about the Hangman energy now? I'm trying to remember it. It came, there wasn't a card. But it was talking about, I was talking about the Hangman. So this energy, the Hangman, I just did a reading for the random shift, and this was the main card. And, the Hangman hangs from the Tree of Knowledge, and he hangs upside down because he wants to get an idea. He wants to gain perspective on an idea. He wants to see it from all angles, and what better way than to be upside down and see it totally from the other person's point of view, basically. And so this energy, he doesn't move forward until he has examined something from all angles. But sometimes this energy can talk about being stuck as well. Like if it can be talking about taking a really long time to heal. So it may have taken you, and you may not be all the way, are we ever 100% healed? No, but if it's something that's making your energy stagnant, You may not be through it as of yet. Just be patient and keep working on it so that you can move forward in a strong way. And then we have, this is saying use your intuition. This card has been coming out a lot as well. So it's saying basically, a lot of times when it comes to really deep emotions, and if we're going into this emotional full moon, I have a feeling it could be a little bit that way. This is a good card at the top. It's saying use your intuition as well as your logic. The High Priestess sits between these two pillars, and they're opposites. They're at two extremes. And in between there is all this information. Information does equal energy. And so this is like 100% to the power of infinity and beyond potential. All this information just, right there. And we have so much information available to us these days. It's way more energy. So sometimes it can be overwhelming. But if you recognize that, what she does is she has to get neutral to the information that's coming in from these two extremes, because they're two opposites and there's so much. She has to figure out, okay, logically, what's the question? And then maybe she has 5 or 6 answers. I could do it this way. I could do it that way. I could, but what she does is she stops thinking and she feels. And she feels with her brain, with her central nervous system. What are the sensations in her body doing? And this will tell you if you get in that, if you do that and you do it really quickly, like you don't think about it, you have to stop thinking. And you just feel like which of these answers feels the strongest to me. The sensations like an elevator dropping is like, oh, that's weak. I don't want to do it that way. But if you get like an uplifting feeling from your, in your sensations, it's like, oh, like that gut feeling, okay, that's strong. I'm going to do it that way. It's almost like you straighten your spine out and you, that's the direction I want to go. And so she does that, and then she takes that answer and she logically applies it to the situation. And this is a joyful way of moving forward, because it's like taking all the information in with logic, finding like the logical solutions, and then using your intuition to navigate through which of those is the strongest for you at this time in your situation. Which one do you feel strongest to with your heart? Which one is most in alignment with your authentic desires in your heart? And which one is most in alignment with your path? And boom, then you just apply it logically, and usually the result is going to be so much better. And she's doing that with some very extreme energy, because this pillar represents Jesus and this one represents the devil. So it doesn't get that much more extreme than that. And so this is talking about having been through some heartache, and possibly a heartbreaking decision needs to be made, wanting to go off to calmer waters, and so going to meditate and pray with God. God gives you judgment and calls judgment on the situation. Then there's an energy of this lover's energy, and you being more yourself again, being more, following your North Star and not feeling so lost and confused. There's a possibility of marriage or some strong commitment in love, or even in business, or some sort of something. Some sort of commitment after kind of being like, in the observing mode and waiting to have the correct information, making sure that you use your intuition as well as your logic. And this is talking about, it could have something to do with your maternal bloodline. There could be some information or some judgment or something happening with the maternal bloodline. It's been coming up in a lot of the readings. So I feel like there's going to be some global energy around that. And it just could be also, there's that in my collective, there's a bunch of collective here watching this, or about to watch it, or will watch it at some point. And that's kind of what's going on in their life. Sometimes, birds of a feather flock together. And so the temperance energy is talking, we already talked about having a good attitude, staying on your path, recognizing that, in a calm energy. And I can feel it. Like, I feel like this is very calm. The Hierophant is coming in. If there's any justice that needs to be meted out, it will be taken care of. And we have a big transition happening in your life. And it's really awesome because you have the promise of you know, having a real ultimate fulfillment if you do the healing work in that, and having this new love in your life, it being passionate and, you know, possibly being a really committed relationship. So this is like really, really good energy after this for sure. And okay, let's talk now about, I'm going to clarify this for those that want clarification. This energy, if you're leaving the reading here, thank you so much for your time and energy. I do hope you benefited from the reading up to this point. Please, thank you for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to now look at just clarifying with my oracle. And so this is, the numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in the gallery of my website, talesfromthevector.com. And I'll put them in the description box below in the order they appear here, so that you can gain further clarity about, sometimes they say painting, a picture paints 1,000 words. So we have here a karmic space of jealousy. So this energy here is, I'd rather be better than bitter. There could have been maybe some sibling rivalry that is involved in this situation here. It's been coming up in the readings quite a bit. Sometimes this can be talking about how we're all children of God, and so we're all brothers and sisters in some way. But in your own individual reading of this, you might have a jealous family member that you're close to. It doesn't have to be a sibling or a friend or someone, and you've noticed, hey, they're behaving like anytime something good comes your way, they're jealous, and you can tell. This is the Strength card. This is about digging deep within yourself. You know, the karmic space of jealousy is tricky, because you could be jealous of, well, you could be jealous of your siblings as well, but you could be jealous of yourself. Like maybe 5 years ago, you were 20 pounds lighter and you preferred looking that way, and you're like, I'm jealous of who I was. That could be that type of energy. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. That's awesome. If you've been following my readings, we did have some energy on June 9th. Venus joined Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, and now the full moon's going to be in that energy. So I feel that energy is still pretty strong. And a lot of the astrologers were talking about this energy. Stella! No, I'm not letting you outside. I can't, no. My cat wants to go out, and she's not going out without her harness on and me watching her. But she figures, hey, I've got Colette trapped here because she's doing a reading. I'm going to be as obnoxious as possible, and maybe she'll just let me out. Nope, you're not going out there. You were out there for an hour before I did this reading. She was out there laying in the sun on the balcony. Yeah, no. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor. This is talking about that energy of Jupiter. This is the Wheel of Fortune is representing Sagittarius energy. And that is talking about ruling. It's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the most lucky planet of them all. And so a lot of the astrologers were saying that June 9th, when Venus and Jupiter were like uptight and close together, for that one day, that was the most lucky day for love and money out of the entire year of 2026, and also some were even saying for the decade. So that energy is still around because we have that moon coming in the sign of Cancer as well. So, you know, and this is definitely talking about the love, and the Empress is a powerful manifester. We don't have a whole lot of pentacles here, but we have talk about a fulfilling life, you know, a lot of love and a fulfilling lifestyle. So we have attachment. So the attachment is, another karmic space. It's the mother of them all. When we become attached to someone or something, someplace, we can really get attached to it, and then we can easily fall into the other karmic spaces, because now that we're attached to it, then we'll abuse our power and we'll get jealous if someone else is attached, gets that instead of us, and that type of energy. So attachment is the mother of all the other karmic spaces. And the saying on this card is, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. So it's not necessarily even energy or even keel. Look at the High Priestess is coming out again, talking about on the Temperance here. So really interesting, saying, yeah, use your intuition. You'll have a much more joyful outcome. And maybe the Hierophant is using his energy, because look at, we have Justice coming out, and this is sitting right. So he knows about, don't worry. I'm going to use my intuition. I'm going to make sure that that redemption from karma comes through, and that justice is served for whatever situation this is. So we do have a few cards here. There could be some sort of situation that you're in that is a legal matter, or that you may not know about it, but that information may come in with the page, because there was an investigation, and it's sitting right on that. Like, this card can represent an investigation. And this energy of judgment being called, when judgment's called on the spiritual realm by the Most High, then it comes down to earth as well. And then we have, and the Hierophant, being responsible for that. So we do have the manifesting, and this is sitting here, like your strength to be able to look at your shadow side, do the inner work, has you in, it's confirming that you're now in this Empress energy because of all the work that you did to stay on your path, to heal your heart, so that you can move forward in a strong way. And sometimes that's major justice just in itself. And then we have the Battle Star energy. It takes courage. We're saying this again. So whatever happened here, or the information coming in, it's bringing it up twice here. So I feel like maybe it's going to be a challenging truth or something coming up, but in the end it's going to be, because we're talking about the Manipura, which is your diaphragm. It's saying, remember to breathe. That may sound weird, but like, breathe through your nose. If you breathe through your nose, you get more oxygen to the brain. Breathe in, and then breathe out good and long. Release whatever is stressing you out. And then we have Scorpio energy at the top. So this is talking about being able to unite. And this energy is talking about, elevating people rather than conquering. So it's when Scorpio is at their finest, they're very good at uniting people. They're very charming and good with their words. But they have a stinger. And so sometimes they just want to conquer instead. And so every sign, I just am pointing out any of the horoscope signs that come in. I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about the energy of the sign. So this is sitting at the top, and it's saying, use your energy to elevate yourself. And this is about uniting, I feel, with your with this lover. Now that lover could be a Scorpio. That might be true for you. You use your intuition, because it's sitting right on the intuition. But it's not the point of my reading is to identify specific people with the horoscope signs. All right. Thank you so much for your time and energy. I've enjoyed this reading. I do hope you have as well. It's full of really good advice. If you're dealing with a broken heart, or you're feeling very, like you're having difficulty forgiving, this would be a really good reading to take in. I will be back with another reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now.